Right here we have the Intex Aquafish. This is this is a phone running Sailfish OS, which is the successor to MeeGo, which is the successor to Maemo, which is the successor to Symbian. So originally this operating system has its roots in Nokia. Nokia really helped along Symbian, and then they made their own operating systems like MeeGo, and it led to Sailfish, but it never really caught on. But it really is a good OS. I've heard lots of good things about it. So this is a phone, a modern 2000. I think this phone came out this year, 2016. It's a modern phone that runs Sailfish OS, which I'm excited about. I haven't really used this operating system before. All right, so here's the specs. 2 gigs of RAM. Let me. All right. 2 gigs of RAM, 4G, 16 gigabytes of storage space. This is flash memory, 32 gigabyte micro SD. That's what that means basically. It has this nice fold out covers right here. Fold out covers. And it tells you the specs right here. Well, that's pretty cool. It's got 720p resolution, 5-inch display in Sailfish 2.0, Sailfish OS 2.0. The Yola phone, I think the first phone running Sailfish OS was the Yola phone. That was running Sailfish 1.0, this is 2.0. 8 megapixel rear camera, 2 megapixel front camera. Alright, this is the phone itself. Wow, they really they really like giving you the specs, huh? Alright, well that's cool. It's nice to know that just up front. You have 2.0, yep, we know that. 5-inch display, quad-core 1.3 gigahertz processor, 2 gigs RAM, camera, lithium-ion battery, 4G enabled. Okay, we all know the good stuff. Now I'm going to turn this phone on, and I'm going to play around a bit and see what happens. Oh, before we turn the phone on, we have to see what else is in the box. Alright, what do we have here? This thing we have charger. That's a US charger. Headphones. There. Charger, headphones, battery in a separate packaging, which is good, I guess. I don't want the phone to accidentally use up battery once in the phone. And then you got the USB cable for charging here. All the regular accessories. Then we have screen protector. That's a nice extra. And then we have the manual right here. It's a pretty hefty manual. I guess this is also the Sailfish OS manual as well, because for people who's new to Sailfish OS. Alright, I'm gonna turn on the phone, charge it, and I'll show you guys. Alright, so now I got the Intex Aquafish up and running and set up and charged. I want to show you guys Sailfish OS 2.0. Now this is the operating system developed by the engineers of MeeGo, which is another Nokia operating system that was on the Nokia N9. I've demoed it before. It was actually pretty well received, but it never really got a chance to mature because, as you know, Nokia ran into many difficulties in the late 2000s. So yeah, and early 2010s, I want to say. And yeah, this is Sailfish 2.0 basically. Sailfish 2.0, you just swipe like this to get through your apps. It is very, I don't know, it's a very interesting operating system. I don't want to say it's better than iOS or Android or anything yet. You swipe from the bottom to access all your apps, right? In Android, you just have the little launcher here. Swipe down from the top, and usually in Android, you will get your notifications and stuff, but here you can change your theme. It's pretty interesting. So now my entire theme and wallpaper is changed. Oh, let's try urban. Okay, now I got a street view. Yeah, and this I can swipe to see my weather and stuff. Whenever you access an app, let's say go to photos, right here, they have this beautiful photo background. You can always swipe to left to go back to the previous page right here. Let's try videos. The screen's pretty good.
Almost 2 years ago, when we launched Sailfish OS, we decided to launch it in beta. It didn't have all the possible features, and we wanted to put it in the hands of our community as early as possible.
Alright, so oh yes, Bluetooth too. And you're connected to the Ola network, I guess, which you can use to download different apps and get customized things for yourself. But that's basically the theme of this OS. It's very, very simple to use, very, very fluid, as you can see. Let's see what other apps I can use. Let's try the camera. I think this is a 5-inch screen. Actually, let me just pull up the specs for this phone for you guys. Alright, let's see. Okay, Intex, Aquafish. Now I'll show you guys the keyboard and the browser as well while I'm at it. And okay, you'll probably see the specs here on GSM Arena. Okay, here we go. Okay, here we go. So now we know it was released this year, 2016, 2500 milliamp hours, 720p, 2 gigs of RAM, 16 gig storage, micro SD slot, 8 megapixel rear camera, 2 megapixel, and screen is 5 inches. Yep. So yeah, I show you guys the specs of the Ola Walt. So yeah, this way I can show you guys the specs of the Aquafish while at the same time demonstrating the browser and the keyboard. So yeah, if I want to get out of it, I just swipe to the left. And yeah, that's Sailfish OS 2.0. I think my first impressions is it's pretty cool and fluid, and just the lack of apps is the only thing I'm concerned about, which is the same gripe I have for basically every operating system that's not Android or iOS, like the BlackBerry, Windows Phone, Firefox OS, Fire OS, and now the Sailfish. That's the problem with all these other operating systems, is that they suffer from a lack of apps. Let's try out the 8 megapixel camera. So I have the camera here. It's 8 megapixel camera. So this is the camera view. Right here. Well, it's a really bright flash. I just pressed the screen to take a picture, I guess. Oh. Okay, I can adjust the settings a lot. The ISO, flash, no flash. I can adjust all those settings. Okay, I guess that takes a picture right there. So I don't want to have flash actually. Turn off the flash. Alright. The landscape capture key. You can set the location. Maybe I'll set it here then. And you press this to take the picture, I guess. So you can set the location of the shutter button. There we go. Okay. I can access the camera roll, huh? Oops. Okay, here we go. I mean, that's actually swiping to the left, but okay. Swiping left, and you access the camera roll. Yeah, that's the 8 megapixel camera on the Intex. And then as far as hardware buttons go, it's pretty simple. It's a pretty simple affair here. You get the 3.5 millimeter and micro USB on top. This is actually a weird place to put the charger. You put it on top instead of the bottom. Most phones have the charger on port on the bottom. Then on the side here, you got the volume rockers and the power button, and that's it. There's nothing else. It's pretty, in terms of the hardware buttons and stuff, it's pretty bare bones in that aspect. It's just got the basics. But yeah, that's your first look at Sailfish OS 2.0. Yep, and then I want to keep trying this OS. I think it's got a lot of potential. Yep. Media calendar, email notes, messages. Yeah, so it's always swiping left. Okay, swiping to the right or swiping on the left side to do all your basic stuff, and that's also how you get out of the apps. It's swiping on the left side or to the right. Okay, so yeah, that is, and this shows you your recently used apps and stuff. So yeah, that's the Intex Aquafish that runs Sailfish OS 2.0, and yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this. So yeah, guys, that's the Intex Aquafish, and yeah, my impressions of it is pretty good so far. It's very fluid. It's got a very fluid interface. Yeah, you just swipe to the left or swipe to the right or swiping left, basically to do everything, and it's very easy to use, which I like that. It's very fluid. As far as the beauty of the interface goes, I really like it, but I'm just afraid it's probably not going to be as mature as Android or iOS, of course. So that's the only concern. But if you want a good, fluid, beautiful operating system, I think my impressions of Sailfish 2.0 so far is pretty good. So anyways, that's the Intex Aquafish and Sailfish OS 2.0. And as always, guys, thanks for watching. Subscribe if you like my videos.